Good evening to all our viewers and welcome to another Saltwater edition on the line with. You are tuned into For Anglers, the digital platform that keeps fishing alive, with our co-host again, Tish Yelland. It looks like it's got nice weather down there in KZN. Up here we are freezing already. And today we've got a very special angler with us with a pedigree as long as I can fit into 7 screens. So welcome, Colin Scheepers.
Good evening all. Glad to be here and share a little bit of information with you people.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for giving us the chance to have a chat with you tonight. And I'm going to jump straight in it because we have 20 minutes. And like Vanna says, Colin, if we have to talk about all the things he has achieved, we will talk for the next week. So Colin, I just actually want to find out, and we're going to start with it. At what age did you first fish for Border? When did you first start representing Border?
My first year that I got selected for Border was in 1979. I'd been fishing from a very young age. When I say fishing, I lived in an area that was very close to the beach. So every spare moment I had would be spent down at the beach, either on the Orient Beach collecting lilos for the municipality, or otherwise on the rocks trying to catch fish for the aquarium. They had their display tanks, so I use a scoop net and go and catch fish for them and then sell them and buy like an iced bun and a cream soda cool drink. That was the sort of tendency. So yeah, but I started in 1979 and my first nationals was in Mossel Bay and I ended up coming 4th there. If I can just share a little bit of information about that, 1979 was actually a very testing time. There was a heck of a lot of sharks caught, and unfortunately SARSA was still at the stage where everything had to be killed. And we had a grey shark smash at Fransman's Hook. There was a pile of bronzies that were killed. They cut the torsos off and they took them away in refrigerated trucks. But eventually there was so much they were dumping them. Yeah, it was a long time back, and it wasn't a very good example of what was happening, how we were killing the fish. But of course, since then, SARSA with their wisdom has changed, and now everything is way a measure and a lease. So, but those early days was quite bad. But there was a lot of fish.
How long have you been competing from? If you started in 1979.
I carried on fishing every year. I haven't missed a nationals from 1979 until 2010 was my last senior nationals. That was 32 years of consecutive fishing nationals, and in that 32 years, I managed 19 top 8s and top 10s, because initially we had a 12-man side which consisted of 4 light tackle anglers and 8 heavy tackle anglers. So I managed to get 19 top awards, and then I carried on. And before I'd finished, I was actually fishing for the Masters as well. So I started fishing for Masters in 2006. I was like doubling up, and then I had actually made the South African Masters team. But then in 2010, I made the South African senior side for the last time. So I had to withdraw from the Master team because they fished the same venue, same date. So yeah, and then. So I fished another 15 years as a master, and then last year was my first year as a grandmaster that I fished. Although I'm going to be 65, I left it a bit late to join the grandmasters, and so I fished 1 grandmasters tournament. So in total, I fished 48 national tournaments. I haven't missed a day. So, and then in the masters, I managed 8 top 6s out of the 15 days I fished, and then the Grandmasters. Of course, I won a cup. I won the Grandmasters. Yeah.
We also on the freshwater side, we also had light and heavy tackle in the beginning years, and I did my nationals also in 1979 was my first one. What is light and heavy tackle in rock and surf terms?
In those early days, you had 0.40 was classified as light tackle, and then you only had I think it was about a 3-meter leader. It was a maximum of 3 meters. So you had 0.4 monofilament line, and then your maximum length of your leader was 3 meters. And then heavy tackle was was open. You could go to whatever, you could use rope. It was yeah, you could use maximum.
Okay.
And then they changed, and then they made it one category, maximum 0.6 with a 9 meter leader. So that was the early days, light tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did the same throughout in all the different facets. They had the light and the heavy, or the light and the medium.
I want to share something that's very important for a lot of people to understand. In all those years of success, there were 2 years that I fished. I fished 8 tournament days consecutively. The one was in Natal and the one was in Western Province, and I never caught a fish. In two tournaments in a row, 8 days in a row, I caught mambakis.
Yeah.
So why I'm saying that, the people must understand. you have the highs and lows of fishing, and you've got to take the lows, because when you're in the lows actually build character. There's no doubt about it, because I came back stronger after that. But you do have difficult times. It's not because they're bad venues. I just had a tough time. I just couldn't catch a fish. I lost one fish in Natal. My hook straightened, inferior hook. So yeah, it's just, the people need to understand you can have success, but there's also the days when you're going to be down, and you mustn't lose heart. That's the most important thing. You know, some people will throw the towel in and say, that's it. You got to pick yourself up and carry on going. So needless to say, the 9th day of the tournament was lucky enough on border, and I managed to catch a sand shark. You know how great I felt having caught the sand shark. Yeah.
What was your most exceptional day during a national tournament?
My best day was definitely when I was fishing as a master on the Kabeljou surf, and I was fishing up near the Gamtoes River mouth, and I'd fished in an area probably 500 meters south of the Gamtoes mouth. I'd caught a raggy my first throw. It was about, I think, 60 odd kilos. Then I caught a smooth hound of like 20 kilos. Then I caught a grey shark of like, I think it was 26 kilos or something like that. And then my management came to me and said to me, listen, Colin, you're having a good day. Maybe you should move. And I said to him, well, okay, let me get my scratching tackle ready. That's my double hook trace with my chocker and all that, so I can now catch sand sharks and cob and that type of thing. But I thought, before I move down, I said to him, well, let me get my tackle all ready, make sure my traces, everything is done. And then what I'll do is you can come and pick me up. So he rode down the beach, because we were still driving on the beach that time. I then clipped off, got up to my bag, stuck my rod in the pipe, actually stuck the rod over my shoulder. And I sorted my tackle out, got it all ready, so that when he comes, he just picked me up, and I go to the next spot, and I can start fishing. And when I'd finished making my tackle up, I thought, but my line seems to have a bit of a bow. So I reeled and I pulled, and I had something heavy on the line, and I pulled again, I had something heavy on the line. I thought, there's something not. As I walked down to the water's edge, and I pulled this thing, and eventually it came away, and I pulled out, and I had a barbel. But the barbel was full of puncture marks. So I started shaking. You just can't believe how excited you can become, because there's nobody else in the hole. I'm the only person there. The raggy's there. I know it's a big raggy. So of course I just put on a yellowtail bait, waded back out, threw out, hit the water. It was like 5 minutes, and that was the raggy. The raggy in the photo, that was the raggy that I caught. I think it was 180 kilos. So needless to say, my pal came. They gaffed it, they grabbed it, and it was quite a nice catch. And then our management went down the beach, and then our manager came up again, and he said, no, one of our other anglers, I'm not going to mention names, had caught a nice raggy, like a 200 kilo raggy. So we were doing, border was doing very, very well. So I carried on fishing there. I then caught a raggy of 120 kilos. I ended up the day, I think it was 430 or 460 points. I'm not 100% sure, but it was an unbelievable day's catch. Basically, we had won the Masters Nationals on that first day, because we didn't have to fish the border team. But that has definitely been my best catch I've ever had. Yeah, this is a most memorable catch. And I must just share one other thing. On that same beach, at another year, also in the Masters, my big pal, went in to grab the raggy by the tail, because as you're aware, there's no gaffing allowed. And when he went to grab it, he grabbed, and the raggy turned and hit him in the mouth, hit his false teeth out of his mouth. He came out the water, and his teeth were gone. To this day, his teeth were gone. So the joke of it all is he had bought fillet steak that we can have a lovely meal when we get home, but he was eating soup because he had no teeth. Yeah. Anyway, I just share that.
I can imagine. I will write a book just on the funny stories and the funny things that's happened. This photo that we're seeing now, Colin, tell us a little bit about this, because this is social angling, I think.
Yes, that was social angling. My son has moved up to the Belito area, and of course, I hadn't caught a big sand shark, so we went targeting sand sharks at the Noti River mouth, and I managed to get 2 in the day. The one was 48 kilo male, and the other one's a 53 kilo male. So yeah, that's my biggest sandy. Just nice photo. It was a nice day, lovely area, clean water fishing, very different to our fishing. I also got a nice eagle ray up there. Yeah.
Beautiful. And your favorite fishing spot? Can you share with us?
My favorite fishing spot is actually the flat rocks on the eastern beach, very close to East London. You ride down, and unfortunately, it's a very much the bathing area, and you walk left, and it's flat rock area. You get a variety of fish. You get white mussel cracker, you get cob, white stem ross. Yeah, it's a very good area.
Tell us about this one, Colin. I mean, this was in one of the internationals against Namibia. Is this the one that you caught at Flat Rocks?
No. The black stem ross, that was basically in a league event, and then my partner, he's a very big tagger, in a hurry to tag it. But yeah, when you're targeting black mussel cracker, you're looking for a place that's very similar to a cob spot. They love a rocky area that is sanding up, because obviously as the sand moves in, the crustaceans have to move up because they can't live under the sand. So the crabs and the catfish and have to move up, so they become vulnerable for the predators. So the black mussel crackers, you target him basically in the same area that you would target the cob. The cob feed in very much the same type of a spot. My favorite bait.
What is the type of bait that you would use, and the type of trace?
No, it's a normal 21 kg snoot, hook snoot with about a 7er hook, and then I like using a chocker. But a very good bait for him is little whole harder, a small harder, because then the small stuff don't get to it so quickly. But I'm a chocker guy. I use chocker. Love my chocker. You can get your cob, and you can, because you got a chance of getting a variety of fish on the chocker. You get your smooth ounce, you get your cob, and you get the eagle ray. So everything is chocker. I promise you, everything.
Yeah. Colin, what is your biggest fish that you have caught with a small hook? Tell us about that.
The biggest fish I caught, we fished the nationals at Still By, and it was quite strange. I was I think the vice captain at the time, and I walked the beach and checked the area out and said where the people must go and where we're going to place the guys. So when we came to the beach in the morning, right at the car park, the bathing beach at Still By, and I said, okay, somebody's got to get off here. And the guy said, no, but it's too flat. No, we're not going to, no. But everybody wanted to go to the raggy spot. So I said, okay, well, I'll get off here. So I got off, walked down the path, spoke to 2 old-timers on the beach, lovely fellas. They told me, no, they caught a fish there last week. They'd caught a cob or something like that. So anyway, I decided I'm going to put a double hook bait. In other words, a steel trace, a bite trace on the bottom with a 8er hook for maybe a spotted gully, a smoother and a raggy, in case something. And then I'll have a 2-0 with a chocker bait on the top. I call that for my specials. And I waited out, I threw out, and I stood. It wasn't long, and I saw a big crowd of guys fishing for the raggies. And I had a bite, hooked this fish, I played it. My guide came down, walking, and said, what are you going to say? No, I think it's a raggy. It's about probably 40, 50 kilos. But I'm going slowly with it, and it gets in shallow water, and I see, but yeah, I don't see the fin, I don't see the tail, can't see this fish blade, pull, and eventually see the nice tail of a cob, a 30-kilo cob on my 2-0 chocker bait. Yeah, I'm very big in fishing double hooks. I'm one of the sort of pioneers when it comes to the double hook trace. My son, that fished with me quite a lot, took a long time to convert, and then he realized now I'm beating him too many times with my double hook trace. He also became converted, and yeah, it's really taken off. It's one of the most used methods now. There's no doubt about it. Everybody uses double hook traces. Very, very successful.
Tell us about this tournament here.
That was up in Namibia. One of my last Masters tournaments against Namibia, and we were fishing for spotted gullies, and I hooked that thing with a trace that looked terrible. It was kinked and it looked like a coil wire. It really was a terrible trace. And lo and behold, I pull out, and it wasn't a spotted gully. It was a nice cob, I think 17, 18 kilos or something like that. But it was also released. Yeah, that was Namibia. Lovely area. I think we're just so blessed that we can go and fish up there and share their waters with them. And they are such wonderful hosts. My word, you just don't get better people than the Namibian people when it comes to socializing. They are unbelievable bunch of people. Really a lovely place to go to. And I only go there to fish nationals. I've never been there socially, and I think I've been there probably 10 times. But yeah, you just meet such lovely people there. Love the place.
Just another question on that. Targeting the cob in Namibia from a bait and presentation and point of view?
Yeah, no, the most popular bait there is sardine. You can put fillet on, you can put a whole sardine. It's entirely up to you, depending on what size you're targeting. But there's plenty cob there, I promise you. It's not like trying to catch cob in our waters. I'll just share one quick little memorable time. We fished the internationals against Austria when Namibia was still Southwest Africa, and it was a province of South Africa. And the one that we fished against Austria, and it was a 3-leg international. We fished Cape Town, Namibia, and border. And on the Namibia or Southwest Africa leg, the sea was terrible, and we rowed up, and we're trying to find a place to fish, and you had to fish a certain amount of hours for it to qualify as a legitimate tournament. And we couldn't find somewhere to fish, and we were driving around. Eventually we came down, we found a spot, and our major, he has since passed on, said to us, I want 3 guys to go left and 3 guys to go right. Needless to say, we walked down the beach and we all went right. And anyway, I was next to another big fellow angler, Mark Pouts, and we fished there. Anyway, I was on the hot spot. I found the white stem rods, and we caught a bucky load of white stem rods. They were from like 8 kilos to, I think the biggest was like 13.8 kilos. It was unbelievable the amount how the white stem rods bit. Now, unfortunately, the Austrians, they were also issued with crayfish. A lot of them ate their crayfish the night before, so they didn't have crayfish for bait. So eventually they said, no, we're not allowed to use crayfish. So we stopped using crayfish, and then we used sardine cutlet, and that worked very well. We caught them on sardine cutlet, and unfortunately the Austrians, they still couldn't catch them because they couldn't get the distance. It was quite an embarrassment. So I eventually decided, I said to the one guy, well, after the tournament's ended now, so I said, well, come, let me try and catch one for you. So I put on a sardine bait, I walked out, I threw out, gave him the rod. It was seconds, he was in, and he didn't get a white stem rod. He got a cob like about 15 kilos. But I mean, it made his tournament. It was unbelievable. It was the only cob caught that day, but he caught the cob of like 15 kilos. Yeah.
Colin, talk us through this catch here.
I think it was just taken when they because it was my last tournament, having fished 32 years. Somebody took a photo of me with a raggy on the rocks. But that's my last tournament as a senior for border.
You fished border for how many?
32 years consecutively. Yeah. Started fishing border and just never ended. It's just So this is my home water. I love the place. Yeah.
During the time that you represented border and the senior A's, how many times were you on the top?
I've won the national champion, the border thing. I think it's either 8 or 9 times. I'm not 100% sure. I was a champion, but I've been tops plenty of times. This year, I'm now in my 65th, I'm now going to be 65 next month. And I ended up in 3rd position out of everybody. So still giving the young bucks a go. Yeah.
Somebody has to. Oh, yes, this one, definitely.
This was your favorite spot. This was the one that you referred to earlier.
Yes, that's the Eastern Beach. Beautiful. It's a sandstone rocks. And yeah, I parked by the lifesaver shack because it's a bathing beach where the lifesavers patrol the beach. So you can walk up and fish, and your vehicle's safe because the lifesavers are there, or your vehicle. And yeah, it's just so nice and convenient. You catch your red crab on the rocks, so baits is accessible. So you go down there with nothing, just a rod and a little bit of tackle, and then you scratch in the rocks, you get your red crab, and you can target the cracker. Yeah, very easy place to fish. Lovely.
Colin, you also, apart from normal shore angling or rock and surf, you also represented South Africa with the FIPS M tournaments. Can you tell us a little bit about the difference and mind space between fishing a shore angling tournament versus, you know, standing in a little camp? How do you keep focused with regards to that?
Yeah, if you're a competitive angler, it doesn't matter what you're fishing for. At the end of the day, when you're competitive, you're competitive. You want to compete. You want to beat the guys next to you. That's the bottom line. And peg fishing is, you've got your 10-meter zone where you're not allowed out of. So and they draw lots for the 10-meter zone. So they divide the beach up into, call it 100 spaces, and then they will, you got to draw a lot to determine which space you can occupy, and you're not allowed out that space. And it's a 4-hour competition, so it's high intensity. So you need to have your traces all made up, and you're not allowed to wade. Sometimes the water is a little bit unfair to you, like when we were in France. When you draw a spot, you're like 70 meters away from the water, and it's like quite, when the water fills up, because you're not allowed to wade, you're fishing in like probably 2 foot of water, 3 foot of water, catching mullets and things like that. It's very different, but it's incredibly exciting. It's because your manager will come and tell you you're doing well in your zone. So when you're in your zone, you will be fishing against one guy from each country. So yeah, it's very, very different, but very competitive. I love it. It's yeah, it's a.
We have 28 Protea Caps, and I think out of those 28, 5 of them were for FIPS M tournaments.
Yeah, I fished five FIPS tournaments all in all. My first one was, I think it was the second FIPS tournament ever, because they had just started, and we were invited in 1983 as a Springbok team. It was still a Springboks then, wasn't Proteas. We went over and we fished in Spain, and I ended up I was second overall. The point scoring was a little bit different to what it is now, because I remember I lost by like 855 grams or something like that. That was then. The guy that beat me was a Portuguese guy. It was actually quite strange. He was initially disqualified on the first day because he had gone and washed his hands in the water, and they classified as being chumming the water, and you weren't allowed to chum water and all that. But eventually they reinstated him, allowed him to fish, and he carried on fishing. But he eventually won. Lovely guy. He eventually won. And as a team, we came fourth, which was an unbelievable achievement for a bunch of people that we didn't have the right tackle. We were completely out of it. But then I must add, then the next time I fished was in 2010 in Langebaan, and then we thought, oh, we're gonna show these guys a thing or two on our home grounds, and the Irish came over here and they showed us how you need to catch with your 3-hook traces and all that. We were given a real lesson, and since then the guys have improved. There's been some lovely performances. I think the ladies, we got a world champion in the ladies section. We've had some wonderful achievements of our Protea teams that have fished since, so they have improved a heck of a lot. But it's a different system, but a lovely tournament, really lovely. And like all fishing tournaments, you just meet so many lovely people. It's at the end of the day, I think the fishermen are a lovely bunch of guys. Yeah.
So 28 Protea Caps. 3 of those, or all of 25 of them, was for fishing, and only 3 of those were in beach management. Am I correct?
That's correct. That beach management was when I had my slump, when I caught nothing. They invited me out as a coach, so I knew a little bit, so they appointed me as the coach. So that was the 3 years that yeah.
I would be happy with you as a coach in any team, and I'm sure Vanna would feel the same. But Vanna has a coach for you as well.
Yes, absolutely. And I think there's such a wealth of knowledge. It would be absolutely a splendid time to spend with Colin. I think you'll learn a lot. So let's learn a little bit of fun facts with Colin of your likes and dislikes. So I'm just going to give you 2 words and you choose one. Don't do the same as Tish where you try to qualify and to use both, those type of things. Just one of them. So, beach or rocks?
Beach.
Grinder or multiplier?
Grinder.
Mono or braid?
Braid.
Sliding or kiting?
Neither.
It's a Tish answer. Choka or oki?
Choka.
Prawn or sea lice?
Prawn.
Mullet or sard?
Sword.
Circle or J-hook?
J-hook.
Wine or beer?
Wine.
Wine. Pizza or burger?
Pizza.
Brandy or whiskey?
Neither.
Biltong or droewors?
Droewors.
Toyota or Ford?
Toyota.
That's good. Normally I ask the ladies mascara or lipstick, but I won't ask you that one.
Yeah.
Colin, that was great. It was absolutely great to meet you and to have a nice chat with you. I'm sure that there's a lot that the young guys can still learn.
I must mention there's a lot of people that are ambassadors for various sponsors and various brands and all that. I just want to say I'm an ambassador for God, and anybody that must if they want to read something, just read Colossians 3 verse 22 and 23. When you do something, you must do it properly, and you must do it as though you're doing it for God.
Thank you so much, and it has been amazing talking to you, and thank you for taking the time. We know that you don't like being on TV or anything like that, but it really has been a privilege just having a chat with you today. Thank you so much. And we probably will have to make a second and a third one chatting to you because there's still so much that I would like to ask you.
Yeah, it would be nice to go specific species and get a little bit more technical. I think that's quite important. Colin, thank you very much. Tish, thank you. Thank you.
Good night. Have a blessed evening.
Good night.
To the viewers out there, thank you for joining us on another Saltwater edition of On the Line with our co-host Tish Yelland. And remember, be safe out there. It's now open. You can go fishing. Enjoy it. And remember, you guys are awesome. Cheers.